Do you have any thoughts on DeepFreeze?
Um, if I recall, that was like a website where they sort of just enumerated ethical violations of like journalists or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, I don't have too many thoughts about it. I mean, like the worst you can say is that it's kind of like a step into like weird stalker behavior because like these people aren't really like public figures. I mean, they're journalists, but they're not like celebrities. So kind of like creating a manifesto about like just like people feels a little weird, but I don't know. I guess it's I suppose.
Isn't that kind of like what you wanted though? Like to have like an official organization that like serves as a watchdog.
Mm, I suppose, yeah. Mm, I mean that's like the worst interpretation of it. I would say. Like for the most part, I don't feel too much either way about it. Um, it is if there is bad things, you kind of want to track it, I suppose. Um, I feel, I recall having some feelings at the time of this being like a little more having a little more animosity than not. um, but that's sort of implementation
It's
details, I
still up. You
suppose.
can go on there right now and like tell me what you if you think it's like bad the stuff.
Um,
I'll link it.
gamer game.
It's not updated anymore. They stopped updating it a few years ago.
Mm, journalists. On a random one.
Also, their website's kind of broken too. So
Yeah, it's
they
an
haven't
outlet.
updated in years. It's been
Okay, how about this one? Let's click on this one. Um,
I clicked on Jonathan Holmes of Destructoid.
I clicked on um, the Mary Sue, and this one person wrote 5 times, but Zoe Quinn without disclosing appears to be a personal relationship, which also involved meetings between the two. I mean, wrote at least twice about Christine Love without disclosing a personal relationship, which had meetings. I guess it's
Well, Mary Sue's on a gaming
fine.
site, so they don't
Yeah,
have a
there's
huge
one
amount of
particular.
entries.
There's like one journalist who I guess worked with them who they're. This is like a specifies, I suppose. So I don't really need to name, I suppose. Um, I guess it's fine. I don't have too much of an opinion, I suppose. If it's just like, I guess it depends.
Obviously, it's like
Mm.
a huge website. You'd have to like dig through like hours and hours and hours to like examine it all, probably everything on there. But and
I mean, I
some of it
suppose
like
like
you'd
it
have to use
has.
arc. Go ahead.
I mean, I suppose it has like a slant, for example, that I would. Um, like, for example, there's this one person. Well, actually, no, I'll just say this is Nathan Grayson. There's one talking about him, and he has this one thing where it says, contributed to the moral panic started by so and so about a 4 second scene in Hotline Miami 2. Um, it's often called a rape scene. The scene not only cuts before anything happens, but is immediately shown to be fictional in universe. And so I feel like the sort of characterization of that as not a big deal. It was just like not even anything that happened. It was like fictional. It was like actually part of like a movie or something, if I remember correctly, that was being filmed in the game. I don't know, just like thinking that the opinion that um, exonerates the scene for any criticisms that might be about it, like that's definitely like a Gamergate position. So I feel like there might be a lot of sort of how should I say like reactionary filled. That's not the right way to say it. Um, there will be a lot of angles and criticism from that political perspective that I would probably not concur with. But that's probably the worst I could say.
Yeah, I think that well they break down like how they issue each thing. So like I think the sensationalism,
Mm.
I think that that's probably where DeepFreeze is weakest because it's implying a motivation,
Mm.
which I don't,
Yeah.
which is obviously something that we can't prove. But like I think generally for I mean generally for other stuff I think it's fine, and the sensationalism stuff I don't know how I feel about that. Um, because I think like I think it's fair to criticize websites for doing stuff like this. I criticize websites for doing stuff like this all the time during Gamergate. but it's not quite an ethical violation. It's not. It's not. It's a separate thing. It's a separate thing altogether.
Yeah. Because like
Or it
here,
can be. Like there could be extreme cases where it kind of becomes an ethical violation,
yeah. Because
probably. But
I click on the rock paper shotgun one, and it's talking about this person who she apparently is alleged to have started the moral panic, and says here. Started a moral panic about 4 seconds scene Hot Miami 2, spending the majority of her hands-on preview claiming that this is problematic, upsetting, scene that made her feel betrayed and unsafe in her quote-unquote safe space. Um, and it's like, yeah, it's not really an ethical violation because if she legitimately like felt uncomfortable during this, like all this really does is be like, it's making an entry where she was like weak and like wasn't a strong person in face of like a challenging thing, and why are you feeling so bad about seeing rape or whatever. Like I think there is room for that being troubling, and then it's part of sort of the political disposition of wanting to sort of like not find that troubling, um, which is certainly a stance to take that I would definitely not concur with. Sort of trivializing that and not sort of not that it's not respecting it, because like you don't have to respect someone's issues, but like explicitly going out of your way to disrespect it, I think is different.
hi, I'm Tachyon Blue. Thank you for watching another one of my Gamergate book video segments. Altogether, I've interviewed over 70 people involved with Gamergate, and I'm going to be launching a Kickstarter campaign in the coming weeks. So please, I need your support to help make this project a reality. I'm turning these 70 plus interviews into a multi volume series of books, the first volume of which is already completed. And so I'd like you to please stay tuned for more information about the Kickstarter. And if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and comment. More updates will be coming in the near future. Thank you, and take care.